Hey everyone, welcome into Attacking Third for a very special post-United States Women's National Team Olympic match. The United States has just defeated Zambia 3-0, and we are going to recap all of it. Analysis, conversation about it, and I can't do that without my good friends, Darian Jenkins, Sandra Herrera, Christine Cupo, and I'm Lisa Carlin. Ladies, this was a heck of a way for the United States to start their Olympic tour. Match day one, they needed goals and they got them. Sandra, what were your reactions and response when you saw this U.S. put away 3 on Zambia? A lot to come for sure. Okay, let's dive into these starting lineups that we got because before this match even kicked off, there were changes to the United States women's national team roster and the alternates that were being called in. So initially, before this match even got started, U.S. put out a statement that midfielder Jaden Shaw was unavailable for this match on the full 18 roster for the U.S. due to some leg tightness. So because of that, midfielder Croy Bethune was going to get the call up, and ultimately they would have to kind of roll out without that. So then we got to see the U.S.'s starting 11 versus Zambia. I'm going to run through it first, and then we'll get reactions. So Alyssa Nair in goal, Crystal Dunn, Tierna Davidson, Naomi Girma, and Emily Fox across the back line. In the midfield, Sam Coffey, Rose Lavelle, Lindsay Horan, and then up top, Mallory Swanson, Sophia Smith, and Trinity Rodman. Initially, Darian, we had talked a lot about the last week what was going to happen in that left back position between Jenna Nightslonger and Crystal Dunn, and Dunn gets the nod. Why? Why? Tell us why, Darian. I
Oh
know you're
boy.
right, but tell us
Ladies,
why
I
she
don't
got
I
the
don't know.
start.
I put it out there. It happened. I'm a big manifestation. No, I'm just playing. I really think the battle between that left back position has been a lot closer than what we've originally seen. I think they both bring really different elements to the game, and what Crystal has is she's a veteran. She is so solid 1v1, and when you have the likes of Kundananji and Barbara Banda, so many other players that are technical savvy that want to isolate like Zambia wanted to go against the US back line, I would put more of my faith in Crystal Dunn just because we've seen her go up against the best in the world in so many other major tournaments and just be so she's one of the most consistent players in the world in my opinion. I mean, the fact that she even played left back and then switched over to right forward pretty seamlessly and nearly scored in the end is just a big testament to I think how important she is to this team and why she ultimately got that left back position. I also wonder if Jaden Shaw and Corey Bethune, that kind of like for like swap, but Corey Bethune being more of that solid 10 position, pushed Jenna Nicewanger up higher and pulled Crystal Dunn
Mm.
into that back line. So I wonder if that's something we're going to see more moving into the next matches.
Oh, I really like that shout, Darian, about the nice songer being pushed up higher because we did see that ultimately. But with this starting 11 that rolled out, 78 caps, and one of the youngest at a world championship event, so Olympics or World Cup, that the U.S. has rolled out with since 2008 Summer Games. And there were a number of players making their debut in the starting lineup: Sam Coffey, Emily Fox, Naomi Girma, Trinity Rodman, and Sophia Smith, all making their Olympic debut. And it started incredibly fast, Christine. The opening minute of this match, it was like, okay, the U.S. is not here to mess around at all.
Yeah, I mean, I love it because I love murder ball. Why not? Like, let's go. I liked the pace. I liked the aggression. I would have liked it if we could have gotten more of those shots in the back of the net. I think that, especially looking, at least for me, at this match, as are we going to be scoring those goals as promised? Are they really coming? And yes, they were. It's just that, they weren't defended hard enough for them to be missing the shots that they did have. Now, I kind of questioned whether that kind of pace was going to be sustainable for this side going to the second half. And the resounding answer was no, it wasn't. I think it was a little bit sloppier, much slower. Although I think that some of that was also strategic to just play it safe. Again, that was also against the diminished Zambia side who unfortunately got dog sewed.
I think for me, I was looking at things defensively. I think there was a lot of emphasis going into this game on the attack, how we wanted to see these forwards score. We're so excited for this attacking trio. We want to see Rodman, Smith, and Swanson get clicking and get going. But there was also a lot of attention on Zambia, rightfully so, for Barbara Banda, who we've been watching dominate NWSL week in, week out. So I wanted to see the continuity of, the growing partnership between Girma, between Davidson. So when that 11 dropped, I'm like, this is it. Let's go. And honestly, they did what they had to do. I'm not going to say it was pretty, but they got out there and absolutely did what they had to do. Also have to maybe even shout out and piggyback a little bit on what Darian was mentioning with some of those substitutions. When you have like different players coming in across the lines, what's it going to look like? But shout out to Casey Kruger coming up with a couple really good moments down the stretch as well, because Zambia kept trying and trying and trying.
Yeah, a lot of those subs, including Casey Kruger, came in for the U.S. in the 65th minute. So second half action, a lot of changes for Emma Hayes, presumably to have a little bit of rest. It's a quick turnaround in these tournaments and a lot of matches in a short amount of days. But the first 25 minutes of this game were all the United States, absolutely dominant. And ultimately, at the end of the first 25 minutes, U.S. were up 3-0. And it had a lot to do with the front runners for the United States and their mindset and how they were continuously going to be attacking. When you have Swanson in the midfield that can drop deep, sometimes even lower than Rose Lavelle, who was technically playing in the midfield, and then you have Sophia Smith, who is pulled and tucked over. They're playing really close together with Rodman isolated in the right wing in the wide channel. That just created a lot of space on the left for Crystal Dunn to get forward and to continuously run into the box. And we had 2 crossbar opportunities in the opening 15 minutes of this match, Rodman and Swanson. And D, I'm not going to lie. First 15 minutes, I was like, oh no, is this going to be reminiscent of what we saw against Costa Rica, where
You
the
weren't
U.S.
alone.
create so well and they can come so close off the crossbar? But that wasn't the case at all, Darian. That wasn't.
No, ladies, it was a warm up. That match was a warm up for the Olympics. We know that they were unlucky not to not score. They should have done better. I agree, but I mean, they came in with the sauce the first 25 minutes. Yes, they lost it after that, in my opinion, quite a bit. I think there was a big drop off after Swanson's second goal. But the combination play, the exploitation of spaces, Sophia Smith looked like a bully at times, just rolling defenders off of her. Her ball control was pristine. I thought Lindsay Horan's vision was great, and Rodman making this brilliant run, really cheeky little back heel touch, and then the finish. I jumped off of my couch. I was so excited. It's just a brilliant team goal. And I think the other two were also reminiscent of the first one, where they were exploiting space. They looked dynamic. They were all really hungry to score. And for it to finally happen, I think we've all been holding our breath, like Lisa said, just waiting for them to put some away. I think it's a good another little tease of hopefully what's to come in the tournament, knowing that they can break teams down. They are gelling, especially in that middle to attacking half. For them, it was really good to see them finally put some away. And I think that's going to give them a lot of confidence moving forward.
Trinity Rodman opens the scoring for the United States in the 17th minute. It was a beautiful, beautiful build-up play. Mallory Swanson down the left flank, who finds Horan centrally, and Horan's vision to slide Rodman through. Rodman with 2 defenders on, doesn't matter. That's cake. Spins out and scores the goal. It was a great shot by Rodman, and then Swanson responds again in the 24th minute to double the USA's lead. Again, the assist from Lindsay Horan to Swanson, and the first touch for Swanson creates a little chip ball in and over the goal. 66 seconds later, Mallory Swanson does it again, right off the kickoff for the United States, Christine. We have missed Mallory Swanson at the international level, and she has proved in just the span of 66 seconds, if not for her entire play leading up to us, that she is at the international level. She is ready to go, perhaps wanting the golden boot as well, Chris, a little.
Listen, I couldn't even get through my first goal jubilation. She went and canceled it and scored another goal. I over processed everything. I was running around in circles. It's wonderful to see. And I think that, regular club duty, she's been on fire. And obviously those fires are stoked by a player like Banda. So when you have the opportunity on the world stage to sort of, keep at it, you're going to pull a brace. You're Mel Swanson. You can do whatever you want. Now, it's wildly impressive. And we are very, very lucky to have her back. I'd say say at 110%. She'll be a massive contributor. But also Trinity Rodman breaking her goal drought after so much time, I think will be a massive confidence boost. You could see the frustration on her today because you could see how much she wanted at least a second goal. But I think this is good. Everything's moving in the positive trajectory for our top line, and the chemistry is beautiful. Smile. It's nice to see players who love playing together.
Yeah, they looked like they were clicking and just finding each other. But for Mallory Swanson, 2 goals, a brace in 66 seconds. That's the fastest for a single player in major tournament U.S. women's national team history. That was all the positives for the United States. And it felt like the seesaw was going to continue to move in favor of the US because 32nd minute between the 30th, 32nd, Zambia gets a yellow card and then they go to VAR. It's the first check of the game that we see. And ultimately, defender for Zambia, Pauline Zulu, ends up getting a straight red card for dog. So poor girl, honestly, like she just lost it, breaking down. And at this point, Sandra, Zambia is now trying to climb themselves out of a 3-0 deficit against the United States, and they have to play down a player. You felt like it was like, okay, just get to the halftime when this happened for Zambia.
Yeah, you're already down 3 goals, right? Mal Swanson doing what she's doing at this point. I appreciate Kupo keeping it real and saying, "That's my bad. I forgot about Mal Swanson at the international level." Well, she's back. She's so back. She couldn't be more back if she had a time machine, right? So it's a tough position to be in, to not only concede 3 goals, but concede them in the way that they did. These these were beautiful goals. Some of them clinical. I've already talked about them enough, but as far as the mental state at this point, you want to try to get to halftime to reset. And they went to VAR on this. So there's a little bit of a moment where you're like, what exactly are they looking at? What could possibly happen? And then to come out of it, I think initially a lot of us were like, okay, it's going to be outside the box free kick. But to come back and say, further review, dog so, the way they were finishing, this was clearly a denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity. And you could see it in the body language in the face and what that does to this team. Because not only is this player out for the remainder of this game, we'll miss the next game. I mean, we're talking about a group stage that only has 3 matches. So it's tough to not only come down from 3 goals, but to also have that deficit and be down a player as well. And there's an argument to be made, though, that maybe they didn't necessarily struggle with that 100% because we did not see the United States kind of take advantage of that scenario.
Ooh,
In
I
that
like
same
it.
vein, Zambia looked dangerous at big opportunities. I thought Gurma did so well handling Banda. That was, yep, shout out. Look, check out Carlin's shirt. Hold it up.
I get my answer now. Who's on the shirt? Okay.
Whoa.
U.S.
Okay,
player of
Irma.
the year. I had to rock it. She had such a good game, Darian. She did.
She was fantastic. She is a player that when you're going against her, she's so frustrating to play against because she's just patient. She does not bite at all. She doesn't try to stab at you to make you go a certain way. She just leads you to exactly where she wants and then gets just a little touch that screws up your entire plan. The moment you want to get a shot off, the moment you're trying to make a pass. I also thought Davidson had a good game. She had moments where she really took the team on her back and made some last ditch tackles. And shout out to Casey Kruger. I know somebody already did, but that in the last couple minutes of the game where she took down Kundanaji, blocked her shot after just being in the 18, getting a shot off is impeccable. I'm glad she got some minutes in this match, but defensively, I thought we did really well against Zambia, but credit to Zambia for not letting that completely shut them down and just go into a awful low block that none of us really want to see more of in this tournament. And they still tried to attack.
With 55 minutes for Zambia to play down a player, they didn't look that bad. They competed. They were going hard into tackles. They had to shift a bit formationally. There were some subs that came from Mwape, the head coach for Zambia, to kind of solidify things defensively. But the game plan for Zambia looked really, really good. We're going to talk about it and how the United States maybe didn't live up to all the potential that they could have had, considering they were going up against their competition already 3 goals in and then playing against someone that went down a man on that team. A lot more to talk about with this side. The U.S., they defeat Zambia 3-0 in match day 1 of the Olympic Games in their group. They get a lot of points in this one, goals coming from Trinity Rodman, and then the fastest breaks in U.S. women's national team major tournament history by Mallory Swanson, all in the first 25 minutes for the United States.